Minasan, okarinasai, today an absolute legend, a future Hall of Famer, and we're just going to keep the intro short because we have a lot to talk about. Rie Takahashi, born February 27th, 1994 in Saitama, currently affiliated with 81 Produce. While she was in high school, she watched shows like Ojamajo Doremi, Higurashi, and Soul Eater. She noticed that many of the male characters were voiced by female voice actors, and this fact interested her. This is actually a very common thing amongst the seiyuu of her generation, usually inspired by Romy Park. Rie, like many others, saw this, and she decided that she wanted to pursue a career in voice acting. She joined her school's broadcasting club during her third year of high school, and she also won a special citation for voice acting at the 4th High School Animation Fair. During her third year, Takahashi participated in an audition sponsored by the voice acting agency 81 Produce. After graduating, she attended the 81 Produce's training school, 81 Actors Studio. While continuing with her lessons, she was introduced to Reina Ueda, who would later become her best friend. After graduating from the Actors Studio in 2013, she formally joined 81 Produce. And that's where her career begins as well. Naturally, her first few roles are very minor unnamed characters in shows like Stella Women's Academy, Drillland, and Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live. In 2014, she still has minor roles, but now with names, like Nagisa Tsutsumi in Aikatsu, Ayana Aizawa in Captain Earth, and Akane Uchida in Shirobako. She actually had 4 roles in this show, but of course, very minor. 2015 was her big year, having 4 leads with some extra stuff tied to some of them. Let's start off with Kaon Lanchester in Comet Lucifer, and then Miki Naoki in School Live. Next is Yoshi Kobayashi in Game of the Place, a character she would later portray in a live-action stage play as well. So cool. Love it when this happens. And the final lead is Futaba Ichinose in a series A Seiyu's Life, a show where her and her 2 fellow leads would form a real-life seiyuu unit called Earphones, something she's still active in to this day. Naturally, all 3 girls sang the opening and all 3 ending themes as well. For a quick fact about Rie and Marika, one of her fellow members, they are not only the same age, but also born in the same month, only being 5 days apart. To end this year, I'm also going to mention her role of Yoko Uno in the movie The Anthem of the Heart. 2016, we got a big one, that being Megumin in the banger that is Konosuba. I just know that she has so much fun with this one. But it's not her only banger, as she also voiced the very lovely Emilia in ReZero. Just these 2 characters alone can really show you the range that she has. But she's got more lead roles of Mirai Asahina in Mahou Girls Precure, and Mash Kirilight in Fate Grand Order. I'll also mention some supporting roles of Rin Rokudo in Keijo, and Noct Leaflet in Undefeated Bahamut Chronicle. Finally, for this year, she won an award, Best Female Newcomer at the 10th Seiyuu Awards. Just in case that wasn't already obvious, I mean, look at the roles I just mentioned. 2017, she started off the year by voicing Matame Mayonaka in Akibas Trip the Animation, co-starring with her other Earphones ladies, and they had some insert songs as well as singing the opening and the 3rd ending theme. Definitely recommend watching the music video for the opening. Aside from these, she had some more main characters, Yui Obata in Anime Gatari, Misaki in Battle Girl High School, and Ernesti Echevarria in Knights and Magic. There are also supporting characters Aqua Aino in Love Tyrant and Riki Misumi in Gamers. Both shows I like a lot, so I just wanted to share these. 2018 was yet another banger year with a very iconic character, that being Takagi in the skill teaser Takagi. You can thank this show for us having a new girl-teasing boy anime every year. She also voiced Ena Saito in Yuru Camp, Zena Marienthal in Death March to a Parallel World, and Tsubasa Katsuki in Comic Girls. Then she debuted in One Room with its 2nd season as Minori Nanahashi. Non-leads would include Sagiri Ameno in Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs, peak degenerate anime right here, but she was also Mifue Shinohara in Caligula. 2019, in a new season of Bakugan, she took over the role of lead character Dan Kuzo, later singing the first opening of Armored Alliance, which is the 2nd part of the series, and the opening for Geogan Rising, the 3rd part. A little side note here, Bakugan, Damn, Shadows to My Childhood. Some other roles would include Chang Lu Steiner in Revisions, Nozumi Makino in Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka, one of those Madoka Magica clones, but also Titania in Million Arthur's 2nd season. Well, she was also in the 1st one, but she's also Rin Azuma in Isekai Cheat Magician. She also reprised her roles of both Megumin and Emilia in Isekai Quartet, and she had 2 characters in Azure Lane, Massachusetts and Montpelier. Finally, for this year, she won an award with Minami Tanaka for the Best Female Radio for the Fate Grand Order radio program. Moving on to 2020, she voiced Hime Goto in Kakushi Goto, Miyu in Listeners, Ameth in Princess Connect, Shirori Rakaku in Assault Lily, and another kind of big one, Sumi Sakurasawa in Rent-A-Girlfriend. Say what you will about the show itself, but the cast is stacked with talent. And just like that, we're jumping into 2021, starting off with a couple of supporting roles, Ayaka Minori in Remake Our Life, then Vesves in the Sailor Moon Eternal movies. Now some leads, Sana Miyama in Gundam Breaker Battle Log, Ida in Mute King the Dancing Hero, and Shino Kiryu in Girlfriend Girlfriend. This year also marked her debut as a solo artist with her song Utsu, which had an animated music video. There was also her EP, Tome na Fusen, 2 other songs on this album also having AMVs. Oh, and she also opened a fan club, Takaharitsu Rie Koko. In 2022, Rie had a lot of roles, but I'll just mention Sumigi Hattori in Orient, Nina Morale in The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, Shiva in The Girl from the Other Side, a great movie, Hiyori Shina in Classroom of the Elite's 2nd season, Stella in Beastamer, Sakura Miharutaki in Kakagururi Twin, and Eileen Lauren Dietrich in I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss. Great name. But also her second single was the opening theme, that being Kyokan Sarenakute Moi Ijanai. Really glad she only recently started voicing in the extremely long light novel titled anime. And I'm actually just going to mention 3 more roles. The Konkon Cafe Manager in Akiba Maid War, Ilya Ilukin in Love Flops, and Anzu Hoshino in Romantic Killer. Finally, she won yet another award, receiving the Best Supporting Actress award at the 16th Save Awards. Oh, she also got COVID this year. Big F. Now for this lovely year of 2023, her second EP came out last month, that being titled Ao wo Ikiru. As for anime, well, she's got a lot already lined up, but as for currently airing stuff, she is Lilyha in Akaina of the Great Snow Sea, Sugar Peas in High Card, and she is voicing the ever so amazing Tomo Aizawa in Tomo-chan is a Girl. Later this year, you can expect more Konosuba, Girlfriend Girlfriend, Yuru Camp, and Rent-A-Girlfriend. Also new shows Hell's Paradise, A Galaxy Next Door, and the highly anticipated Oshi no Ko. If you're an Idol fan, which I'm assuming you are if you're a regular viewer, this show is the one for you. But if you're a classic anime lover, she'll be taking over the role of Karu Kamiya in the new season of Rurouni Kenshin, which actually doesn't have a release date yet, so it may not even come out this year, but I'm assuming it will. Rie-chan has a little over 40 video game credits. As always, we've got Azure Lane, Dragalia Lost, Magia Record, Grand Blue Fantasy, Shadowverse, Arknights, and Girls' Frontline. Also, obviously, Fate Grand Order. You know, now that I look at this list, this is literally every single one of the usual suspects. I don't think any seiyuu I've talked about has been in every single one of these games. Shoutouts to Takahashi, the legend. But she's also in some tie-in games for anime she's in, like Konosuba and Caligula, and even games where she's not in the anime, like Dead Alive, Future Card Buddy Fight, Idolmaster, Higurashi, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime. That's not all though, as she's also in more mainstream popular games like being the narrator for Gran Turismo Sport, Dawn or Hikari in Pokemon Masters EX, Flamberge in Kirby All-Star Allies, Yojime in Final Fantasy XV, Nina DeForges in Star Ocean The Divine Force, and the big one, Hu Tao in Genshin Impact. She's also in Fire Emblem Heroes if you vibe with that game. Also sorry if this section was a little too long, she just has a lot of good stuff to talk about. Speaking of good stuff, well, her live action and foreign dubbing credits include a voiceover role in Anime Supremacy based off of a Japanese novel. Then in the animation department, she's in Adventure Time, The Regular Show, and Young Justice. But also voicing Penny Parker in Into the Spider-Verse, and voicing Cassie Lang in the recently released Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Concerts would include being at all of the Earphones events, performing with them at Anisama in 2016, but also singing one of the Takagi ending themes in 2019 with Yuiko Ohara, who sings the opening. And very recently, she was at the Idolmaster Master of Idols event. As for solo lives, well, she had her very first, yesterday. Good for her. She has also been a guest at various events like Anime Japan, Fate Go Fest, Aniplex Online Fest, and the Anime Festival in Singapore. I did mention a few times that she sang openings or endings of shows, but she has a lot, like 25 different credits, some of those having multiple songs within the show. So I'm going to mention some more here, but just the shows and not the song names or we'd be here forever. Starting with openings, she's got I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss as a solo singer, her first and so far only solo opening, but there's also singing School Live and Comic Girls openings with some of the cast. Endings would include a big chunk of her singing career, one theme from both ReZero seasons, like 22 different songs from all the Takagi seasons, all 10 endings of Listeners, and Isekai Cheat Magician, singing all of those songs alone. Then there's both Konosuba seasons and the movie, Isekai Quartet, both seasons, Yuna of the Haunted Hot Springs, and Tomo-chan is a girl singing those endings with her castmates. That was also only about 65% of her credits, by the way. She really is god tier. And I want to say that I didn't really go into much detail about her songs with earphones, as I already talked about them in one of my Seiyu Units videos. So now we're finished with that crazy resume, let's move on to the fun facts. Rie is 160 centimeters or 5'3". On the socials, she has both Twitter and Instagram, though it's probably run by staff and there's hardly any posts on the gram. She has said that she worked many part-time jobs, such as being at supermarkets and even a bra factory. Nice. Her hobbies include playing electric guitar, I need to see this, but also nail art and browsing 100 yen stores. That's a thing over there? That's equal to like 1 cent over here. Japan truly is in a league of its own. She says her special skill is being able to cartwheel. She used to do gymnastics and soft tennis. She's also a very emotional drunk, and she loves mangoes. Oh, and she also has a little brother. She once said that she hopes to hold a concert where she sings songs that her characters have sung in anime. And well, like I said, she just had her first live. Not sure if she sang the songs her characters sing, but I'm sure there were a few. So mission accomplished. Way earlier in the video, I said her and Reina Ueda are best friends. Well, they also have a radio show called Shigo Haji, which has been going on since around 2017, and they also did a photo shoot together. Unfortunately, Rie by herself does not have any photo books, but she does realize that her charm point is her very lovely legs. Bless. Rie and Reina actually both attended the Wake Up Girls' final live show and sat beside each other, but they didn't go together. It was just an odd coincidence, and Reina didn't even realize it was Rie beside her until the very end of the show. She really loves hosting radio programs, having the one with Reina, but also one for her group Earphones, one for ReZero, and other programs for anime she's been in, like the more recent Tomo-chan is a Girl. This love of hers probably comes from her time with the broadcasting club in high school. Aside from voicing in Bakugan, she's actually a big fan of this series in general. Seeing as how her and I are the same age and I have fond memories of the first season, I'm sure she does as well. She even has some of the toys from the franchise too. As always, I like to try to end with silly facts, so I've got 2 here. The first being that animals don't seem to like Rie very much. Well, at least the ones at her trip to the zoo didn't like her, while they loved Reina. And finally, she is a Shotokan, something she kind of takes pride in even if Reina threatens to call the police on her very often. Also keep in mind she is an One-chan, so there's definitely some predatorial stuff going on there. And with that, we have reached the ending. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something new. Rie is an absolute goddess. Definitely check out her Earphones music if you haven't already. They really don't get enough attention. So go show some love on their YouTube channel. There will be links down below. And please join me in the next one about the green petal within the greater iris flower. I look forward to seeing you there.